My name's Simon Colgan and I'm a photographer in my own time, and in work time I'm a lecturer at Cornwall College. For me, photography started very young. My gran used to take photographs. She had a bit of a studio when I was young. I don't remember much about it, but obviously it was in there somewhere. My dad did photography, he had a dark room. I used to love sort of weekends going in there helping him develop pictures. Hence I think that's why I love the dark room now. But yeah, it's been going on a long time. I gave up, this is sort of 70s. I kind of gave up a little bit in the 80s because I discovered motorbikes, girls and guitars. So obviously the camera collection had to go to fund that. But then, as time goes on, I've sort of built up the cameras I wanted again and still doing it. I started teaching because I started late on the educational journey. I did an HNC at Cornwall College where I work. Then I didn't really know what to do, so I took a year out after that. People were kind of, jobs I was going for photographic wise, people said, have you got a degree? So I thought, no, I haven't got a degree. Do I need a degree? So I went and did a degree at Falmouth. And after that I got a bit of work, and while I was at Falmouth I was obviously the old guy because I was 44 when I did my degree, and because I was the old guy, all the younger sort of 18-19-year-olds used to come to me saying, how does this work? How do you load this film camera? You're old, you can do it. So I almost became like the old guru of the young people for sort of old equipment, because I knew how it worked because that's what I grew up with. And I thought from then I kind of enjoyed helping people, especially working with the old processes, and that's where I got into sort of older processes. And because I enjoyed it, I thought I wouldn't mind teaching this. So I looked around for bits of teaching. I did some stuff with Penley House, some summer schools, and I thought I actually quite like this, so I looked into doing a teaching degree. While I was doing my teaching degree I got a placement at Cornwall College yet again, where I've ended up working. So I started lecturing there 8 years ago now. Then I'm now the program manager for photography. I think teaching traditional photography in a digital world is really, really important. With our phones and everything else we've got now, with Instagram and everything else, we take more pictures now every 2 seconds than we took in the whole of the 1800s. So there's a massive immediacy with everything. Press photographers don't earn as much money anymore because there's always somebody with a camera phone. And I think teaching, making it too immediate, I think it sort of devalues it almost. There's no process, there's no thinking, it's just snap, 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 and somewhere there will be a decent picture. But when you're shooting film and developing film, there's a process behind it. And I think that process is the important thing to learn, because it slows you down. You're using cameras, but you've got to think. You've had to pay for the film, so you don't want to waste it. I think slowing you down a little bit will make you a better photographer in the long run. I shoot wet plate collodion because not many people do it, and I just love processes. Like I say, I like shooting film. I've tried cyanotypes, I've tried all different things. I've tried Van Dyke printing, I've done platinum palladium printing, and I just love the whole process of creating something that's taken a day to make. I want to slow things down. And wet plate, each portrait usually takes about half an hour to take. I shoot on pieces of glass and I shoot on bits of aluminium. It's always been called tin type, but it's never been on tin, not in the whole of its history. I got into it at uni, somebody else was doing that. I thought, ooh, what's that process? I'll have a go at that. It's not the cheapest hobby to have, wet plate collodion, because silver is now £1.25 a gram. It's good, it's just a whole process. You've got to do the process in the right order, because if you don't, it doesn't work. What cameras do I own? I've got a Rolleiflex, got an Olympus OM10. The Olympus OM10 is very dear to me because it was my dad's. I still shoot it, it's got a roller film in right now, and I'll keep shooting it until it dies of death. I've got a 10-8, which you can see beside me. It's a Deodorf, one of the finest camera makers in the world at the time. I've also got a Wister 5.4, which is slightly smaller than this one. This one's quite an interesting camera. It's covered in dust at the moment, so I haven't used it for a while. I figured when you shoot photographic paper or wet plate, sometimes you can develop it in as red. So I thought if I made a camera out of ruby lith red plastic, then there's no reason why I can't take pictures on a transparent camera. It was the first one in the world, bold claim, but I couldn't find anybody else that had done it at the time. And I did get onto the patents office saying I did this first, and they said, have you put it on the internet? And I said, yes, I have. And they said, there we go, that's your patent. There's no arguing with a digital footprint. But now you see these all over the world. I never marketed it, I should have. I could have been rich now, but I just wanted it for myself. I just wanted to try something else, which is just good fun.